Good morning, this is Mrs. Larson, and today I'm going to teach you how to make Swedish pancakes. This is my Grandma Coral's recipe, and I have her hanging in my kitchen as inspiration to me because she was a great cook. And this is actually her house. I bought my grandparents' house, and this is where my husband and I live now. So first, I have all of my ingredients out. So I have half a cup of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of butter that I've melted, 1 egg, and 1 cup of milk. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all these ingredients and I'm gonna combine them together into a medium-sized bowl, okay? I'm gonna use my rotary beater, I had to think of the name of it for a second, to combine it together, but you could just use a whisk too. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crack the egg in there. And then I'm gonna beat that up a little bit first because I wanna make sure that that's not, get on in here so you can see all the goodness going on. So you can see that's kind of beat. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to slowly add in my other stuff. So I'm gonna add in my milk, and then I'm gonna add in my melted butter, my salt, and my flour. Add that in there, and then I'm going to combine it using my rotary beater, or like I said, you could use a whisk. I'm going to combine it until all the ingredients are combined and there's no lumps in it. But I want to be careful to not overbeat it, because if I overbeat it, then the batter will be tough. So I'll scrape it around the edge a few times, try to get all those lumps out. And come in here and see, you're gonna see that when I'm done, the batter is gonna be really, really liquidy, way more liquidy than you're used to for your typical pancake batter. So you're gonna think like, oh my gosh, it's way too liquidy, they're gonna be runny, but we want our pancakes to be super thin. So I'm gonna combine that up and check to see there's not too many lumps. So that looks good. Now that I'm done mixing up my batter, it's time to start making the pancakes. So first I want to go over tools that you'll need. So I have a non-stick skillet over the stove. It's important that it's non-stick. That's going to help you flip your pancakes easier. I'm using a 10-inch crepe pan, but you could use any size non-stick skillet. It's just going to affect the size of your pancakes because your batter is really thin, so it's going to spread out to whatever size. Okay. I have a spatula that is very flexible. Our pancakes are going to be really thin, and so the more flexible and bendy your spatula is, the better. I also have some avocado oil here. You could use whatever kind of oil you have on hand. Probably not olive oil, the taste would be a little weird, but any like neutral kind of oil. We're going to brush the pan and we're going to use this. I would recommend using a silicone tipped one. I used like a more natural fiber one once and totally burned it. So I would recommend something like this. So I've been heating our pan on medium heat. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to just lightly brush the pan with oil. What this is gonna do is this is going to help it keep from sticking, but it's also gonna make the pancake really crispy as well too, which is delicious. So I've got my batter over here. I use a 1/3 cup measuring cup for my batter because I know that fits my pan exactly, but you can use whatever size you want to fit your pan. So I'm going to pour my batter in there, and then I'm just going to move it around my pan, and you want it nice and thin, and it should be kind of bubbly. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to watch it kind of start to bubble, and I'm going to slowly take my spatula along the edges, and I'm going to just loosen the edges. And what I'm watching for is I'm watching to see that it's getting bubbly all over, because once I see it's bubbly all over, especially in the center part, which is where the batter is the thickest, then I'll know it's ready. I'm going to kind of keep checking it. I'm just giving a little peek. I'm looking for it to be golden brown, and it's almost there. I can see there's bubbles almost all the way along the top of everything, just kind of this spot right here. All right, and then when I'm ready, I have one chance to flip it. So I have to get my spatula all the way underneath, and then I flip it over. And you can see we've got this nice golden brown color going on. So I did that perfectly, and a lot of times the first pancake isn't perfect, so I'm feeling pretty good about that this morning. The second side won't take as long to cook because it's already been cooking up from underneath when it's really thin, so I'm just gonna kind of keep checking. Now the second side isn't gonna get as brown and crispy like this because the oil, there's less oil, it got sucked into this first layer. So this bottom layer is gonna just be lighter overall with less brown. So I'm gonna give this a couple more seconds and then it will be ready to transfer to our plate. Okay, that's looking ready. So once again, I gotta get my spatula all the way underneath and I'm gonna bring it over here to my plate. Now, it's very important that you know how to prepare a Swedish pancake because it's different than how you would do a normal pancake. So, Swedes love their butter. As my grandma said, you always have to start with butter. So I'm gonna put butter in there and I'm gonna let that melt down. Now, traditionally, you would fill a Swedish pancake with lingonberries, which are a really tart red berry. I don't love lingonberries, so I use raspberry jelly instead, or my other favorite is maple syrup. So maybe you saw Mr. Body's video during spring break where he made maple syrup. This maple syrup was made for me and my husband by my husband's uncle and aunt. So we have some homemade maple syrup, and if you've never had it, it's super good. Okay, so my butter has melted. So I'm just gonna spread that out. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just lightly spread that on there. Pour some maple syrup on there. You don't need too much because it's pretty sweet. All right, now this is what we say in my family is how you prove yourself to be a true Swede. Take your fork and you're gonna insert your fork right on the edge. Now notice I'm only putting the pancake through just the first one here. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to roll it like this, and then I slip my fork out. Now I make this look easy. It takes a lot of practice to get a roll like that. And then to eat your pancake, you just cut it into nice, neat little bits. And voila, you have Swedish pancakes. They're so good. They're my favorite breakfast. You gotta try it. Thanks for watching my video.